Alright, let's now create database tables as well as models for our app. Let's head over to our terminal, then create a model called category. Let's also add an M option to generate a migration for that model, and then F option to generate a factory model. Okay, once created, let's open up the Create Categories table migration. Then add a column in type of string called name. Next, let's switch back over to our terminal and then create another model. For now, I'll leave the model name and then hit enter. And now I got a prompt asking me to enter the model name. In this case, product. Once I hit enter, I got another prompt asking me to select these things. So I'll select all of them except for database seeder. So factory, form requests, migration, policy, and resource controller. Now I'll hit enter. And here we see product model, factory, migration, and other stuff have been created. Alright, let's now open up the Create Products table migration. Then define some other columns. So after the ID column, let's define a foreign key column that will link to the users table. We'll call it user ID and then call constraint. Next column will be foreign key column that will link to the categories table. So we'll call it category ID and then call constraint. Okay, next column will be name in the type of string. Then brand column, also in string. Then let's also add price. And it's gonna be in unsigned integer. The reason why we use unsigned integer is because we'll store our price in cents instead of dollars. So before we actually save it, we'll need to multiply it by 100. And so we'll always get an integer number. Next, let's define another column called weight. And I think decimal is a better choice. Last, let's add a text column called description. Alright, once we defined the structure of our tables, let's now define relationships in our models. Let's first open the category model. Then define a new method called products. As the name says, it returns has many relationship to the product model. So a category model has many product models. Okay, let's now define the inverse relationship from the product model to the category model. Let's open up the product model. Then define a new method called category. This method returns belongs to relationship to the category model. So a product model belongs to a category model. Okay, let's also define the belongs to relationship to the user model. Let's simply duplicate this method declaration, change the name to user, and then change the model to user model. Okay, let's also define relationship from the user model to the product model. Let's open up the file. Then define a new method called products, which returns the has many relationship to the product model.